Right now, it's a war of words between Christie and Rand Paul. In this philosophical fight, who represents the future of the GOP? And next primary day in the New York City race for mayor is just around the corner. We'll hear from Democratic candidate Bill Thompson on his own prospects on what he thinks of his biggest competitor. And later, Bloomberg's New York, after 3 terms of his honor, is the Big Apple better or worse? Good evening and welcome to RFL. I'm Dominic Carter, in tonight for Richard French. Thanks for joining us on this Monday evening, August 19th. And we begin with the war of words between New Jersey Governor Christie and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Things had heated up between the two Republicans last month and had since simmered down, but not for long. Speaking to a closed-door meeting of the Republican National Committee late last week, Governor Christie said the GOP needs to refocus on winning. Quote, "I think that we have some folks who believe that our job is to be college professors. For our ideas to matter, we have to win, because if we don't win, we don't govern, and if we don't govern, all we do is shout to the wind." In response, Paul's camp shot back with this quote. So, if I translate Governor Christie correctly, we shouldn't be the party of ideas. We shouldn't care what we stand for, or even if we stand for anything. We reject that idea. Content-free, so-called pragmatism is the problem, not the solution. But then, over the weekend, Rand Paul made the case for expanding the Republican tent.
The party's big enough for both of us. It's big enough for a lot of different Republicans. And in fact, we don't need to. This all started with him saying, oh, we don't have room for libertarian Republicans. The thing is that's how we grow our party. Libertarian Republicans like myself care about the right to privacy. There's room for people who believe in bigger government in our party.
And let's bring in our panel on this. Jeannie Zaino, professor of political science from Iona College, Evan Thies, founder of Brooklyn Strategies and former senior advisor in the New York City Council, and O'Brien Murray, Republican strategist and co-founder of the New York meeting. Welcome all. And Professor Zaino, I guess I will start with you tonight. What is this all about?
Well, first of all, I don't like Governor Christie attacking college professors. That's just personal, so I'm going to put that out there. I think it's fascinating what's going on in the Republican Party. We've known since 2008, if not before, that the Republican Party is trying to figure out who it is, what it's going to be going forward. And I never thought I would say this, but what Rand Paul has to say, I think, is terribly exciting. I'm not sure he's quite the messenger to deliver it, but I think it's kind of exciting. You know, Governor Christie's right. They need to win, but the question is how. And how is you expand the base of the party? And the question is, how are they going to do that? I'm not so certain Governor Christie has given an answer to that, but Rand Paul is giving an answer. And as somebody who works with young people, I will tell you that libertarian streak is exciting to young people, and it's exciting to other people. So I think he has something there. Again, I'm not so certain he's the messenger or he's going to be the one to attract people to the party, but I think the message may be right on.
How many professors are registered Democrats versus registered Republicans? I think that's probably where he was going. I'm not sure where you're registered, but you are one of the brighter, more articulate professors that are out there.
Now, Obi, I will tell you, you are right. On a party-line basis, there are more Democrats.
I got to agree with that. It's a little strange. It's a little strange for him to say, we're not going to be the party of ideas. And by the way, you shouldn't act like a professor.
Well,
those things don't make a lot of sense.
Whether
It's incongruous.
Whether it's scripted off the cuff is one thing. But I will tell you, A, they're both right, and they both have constituents to deal with. And B, on this one, I think whoever has the bigger tent is the winner on this one.
But
and as long as they're inclusionary and not exclusionary, that's what's great.
Who is Christie going for, though? That's my question. Who is he trying to attract?
Well,
donors.
Yeah, true.
The thing with Christie that struck me is, why did he make this off the record at lunch? He could have easily allowed press in. And it's an RNC meeting. And they can set the rules, and that's great. I agree with that. But he knew it was going to leak out. In fact, one of the attendees actually recorded it a la Romney. And if you've got a room full of hundreds of people and you thought Romney had trouble at a private house, you knew this was going to come out. Look, why not let it be your words and not excerpts as people decide to interpret for
This
you?
is great for both of them because they're having a public fight. The two pillars of the party, libertarianism and old conservatism, fighting it out. They get all this free press out of it. They look like the front runners right
Are you going to join us now, too?
Well, OB, as the Republican at the table tonight, who's right and who's wrong in this battle? Can we see it that way?
I would literally say they're both right. They both are making points to their constituents. And I think Rand comes at it from the right, and Christie comes at it from more center-right. So of the two, they're over there, but at the same time, they have very divergent ideas when it comes to various aspects. And they both are pro-gun. They're both against gay marriage at this point, and there's some issues there to talk about. But at the same time, when you go down and go deeper, they're pro-lifers too. So the conservative side of the wing is all there. They're against higher taxes. They're right there. So when you start getting the nitty-gritty, that's what they're talking about. They're not cutting people out of the party. They're growing. They all agree in minorities and what's got to be done in the inner cities. What Chris Christie's going to do in this election in the cities and the urban areas, and the turnout is going to be fantastic. And Rand Paul's gone and spoken at black churches already. He's not even running for president yet.
Yeah,
so
but when it comes to government, they have very different views, and that's essentially the debate going on in the party. And as a Democrat, I'm really looking forward to having a three-party system instead of a two-party system. We're well on our way there, apparently, which is going to be nice for Democrats. But look, as a political observer, I love this. I think this is exactly what the debate should be about. We should be talking philosophically about what government's supposed to do, and these are two opposing views of government in the same party. I think that you're right. You can survive this civil war that's going on that hasn't gotten too heated yet. But at the very least for the party, it's good it's going on now as opposed to later.
Can I just say, though, listening to Governor Christie and Peter King, who's been chiming in on this, I think there is something of a danger of them being back at the 9/11 period. I mean, Governor Christie's been talking a lot about the widows of 9/11, and, you know, Rand Paul made the case. Those are people we all care about. But, you know, we have, you know, to look at the issues that are going on today. And the fear I have for Governor Christie and Peter King as they make these cases is that who are they attracting? That's what I want to ask you again. Who are they going after as voters, beyond donors? Who are they looking to? You need young people. You need new, energetic people. Who are they going after? You know, it's not clear to me that they have a real base to grasp on.
Well, let's think about what Christie did prior to this fight right now with Rand Paul. By the way, before I forget, they're both going to need each other after a primary process if they both run, because the parties have to be, because the party's going to have to be united.
But with the bad blood that's already stemming to the two
bad
of them. It's not bad blood.
Everybody will sing Kumbaya when it's all over.
You got it Monday for headlines? I'll get it Tuesday.
Yeah.
And going back to your question.
So the party is big enough for both of them?
Of course it is. Of course, no question about it.
But
going to your question about what is it doing, if you look at Chris Christie and you talk about professors, well, he went after the teachers. He excited everybody, and he's doing terrific right now in a blue state as a Republican. That is going to be great for young people. And I think if you look at what he's done, everyone across the internet that watches this stuff and the young people, they're like, hey, I love Christie. I love his energy. He's calling it the way he sees it. And they're forgiven for the Obama side of the track, too, opposed to the old-timers that have been in this party for a long time that say, wait a second, just because he even looked at Obama, I don't like it. And they'll question that. Rand Paul then brings in the libertarian side of it you're talking about. So that's the whole young side of it. Then you go to protecting Social Security. You look at cutting spending. You look at jobs in the economy. And they can cover the gamut from young to old, black to white, yellow, green, purple, and they'll cover everybody.
Our first break of the night's coming up. But Evan, can Mr. Christie run for president and win as a moderate? Can he do it?
He can if he can get through the primary.
Right. That's the question.
That's going to be extremely hard to do. Look, it doesn't. It's not obvious right now because the knock on him is a knock on Romney already, right? Which is people are saying, wait a second, we settled last time, right? And we got a watered down version of what we believe. And why would we try that again? Let's try something more dynamic, more interesting, that represents who we are at the same time. And Chris Christie's only chance here is a cult of personality. I mean, he's an incredible politician. He can maybe turn some of those people that are questioning his credentials as a Republican around.
Politico has done some great stories about that. Maggie Hibron did last week, if I'm not mistaken, about Chris Christie raising money. You talk about the money and the donors. There are a lot of donors can't write a check to Chris Christie because he's governor of New Jersey, and those that do business with New Jersey from the SEC laws cannot write those checks. And that was an issue when he was going to be vice president, possibly, and if he runs for governor.
So they're setting up PACs instead.
Versus Rand Paul. Well, no, but they have problems with that. There's questions about what they can do. Rand Paul, on the other hand, starts from a base of his father's money and his father's donors and a great network. So the two of them, the money alone is going to be a big deal in that primary.
On that note, it is time for a break. Up next, our one-on-one with Bill Thompson. Hear what he has to say about stop and frisk and all of those ads featuring the family of Bill de Blasio. race for City Hall is up next. Stay with us.